Now this right here is almost, I mean almost laughable if it wasn't so serious for the poor people in the UK and in the EU. Because they have the same problem that we have. Money hungry, power hungry, dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking politicians who will give you austerity measures and make you poor and homeless on the damn street that your forefathers fought to keep free, while they themselves are living this unbelievably lavish lifestyle, and even the people that they pay to do things like haircuts. Wait till you hear how much the hairdresser gets paid, president of France. France is practically in riots and almost not even, getting close to civil war right now. They, the BS terror attack late last year, all the club that was attacked, whatever, or the show, the concert that was happening. Again, you can see a lady throwing a metal smoke bomb through a window of one of the restaurants. It breaks the glass and then smokes inside there. How many of you, raise your hand, women out there who have a purse, you got a metal smoke bomb that you keep on you in case of a, crisis acting opportunity. You can throw it through a window, the door, but it's a window, glass door, and shatter it and then walk in as if, a terror attack just happened and the glass was shattered from bullets. You can see this. It's on the internet. I mean, you can watch the surveillance footage. Again, another hoax. And they declared martial law, and they extended the period of martial law, if you'll recall. And then the economy turned sour all of a sudden, and they added some more crappy laws that kind of go side by side with martial law. And they threw in jail, house arrest, some citizen journalists who were just covering how rotten it is in France. We don't like what, and I mean just baby stuff, like, oh my God, they can't even speak. Thrown in jail, house arrest for you theory. I covered that in a video, by the way, when it happened. So speaking of France, French president slams Goldman's hiring of former EU chief Barroso as morally unacceptable. So let's hear what they say here first. Last Friday, we were impressed by Goldman's brazenness when the bank, whose alumni have populated virtually all prominent central banks, announced it hired the former president of the EU, European Union, Jose Manuel Barroso. And I remember Nigel Farage, before he quit recently. He's been a politician for like 20 years, the only good guy over there practically. And I remember him telling Mr. Barroso, and just hammering this guy because they had no answers for what was happening in the economy and everything else. And he was just having a heyday with Mr. Barroso. As a non-executive chairman and advisor. They've hired him as a non-executive chairman and advisor in what was a clear move to lobby for even more clout within a Europe that is suddenly teetering on the edge of chaos. And where Goldman's proximity will come in very lucrative when the Eurozone finally tips over. Needless to say, Barroso's decision to join Goldman was the peak of hypocrisy when one considers the following speech he had given just years earlier. Quote, in the last 3 years, member states, I should say taxpayers, have granted aid and provided guarantees of $4.6 trillion to the financial sector. It is time for the financial sector to make a contribution back to society, he said. On second thought, I'll take that job at Goldman Vampire Squid Sachs. So the French president, Mr. Holland, noted that Barroso was running the European Union's executive arm at the time of the U.S. subprime housing crisis, home loan crisis, which has been blamed for the 2007 and 8 global financial crisis. He said Goldman Sachs was one of the main institutions involved in selling subprime debt, and also noted the U.S. bank's role helping Greece establish credibility about its finances in the early 2000s, which they had to fudge some of the books of Greece to make them be acceptable as a member. And he says legally it's possible, but morally it's about the person. It's morally unacceptable, he said. It's not about Europe. It's about morality, said Holland in his annual interview to mark Bastille Day France's national holiday. Now that's interesting because it's another interesting article from Zero Hedge. Shampoo socialism? Mr. Holland's, the one who just gave Barroso a verbal smackdown. Holland's hairdresser costs French taxpayers $11,000 per month. How's that salary working out? How would you like that salary? Amid record unemployment, again, this is France. Amid record unemployment, painful austerity measures, as in labor reforms, their economic collapse that's been happening more so recently, and the most serious social unrest in decades, the shockingly let-them-eat-cake-ish revelations of French President Hollande's lifestyle will do little to improve the socialists' rating from their record lows. As Bloomberg reports, a French satirical magazine has exposed the fact that Holland's hairdresser is paid a gross salary by the state of $11,000 per month, which, by the way, is more than a European Parliament member, it says. Although just a third less than Holland's salary. So Holland's making approximately, Freemason style, $33,000 per month. It is more than the gross monthly wage of a European Parliament member, which stands at about 8,213 euros, excluding expenses. The salary paid to the socialist president's coffer at the Elysee presidential palace was confirmed by the government after satirical magazine Canard and Chain published details of the terms, including an image of the contract. As the Express reports, despite preaching austerity during his premiership, Mr. Holland's outrageous contract with the barber is causing an outrage. And I think that might be rightly so. The hairdresser, who the leaked contract names only as Oliver B., is set to earn £500,000 over the course of Holland's current premiership, in exchange for being available at every waking moment and signing a contract, in other words, a non-disclosure, promising not to speak about his position. It reads, Mr. B commits to maintaining the utmost secrecy during and after the completion of his contract on the work he has done and on the information he has had access to. And I can assure you for excuse me, let me say this quietly. I can assure you for 11 G's a month, he's not just cutting Mr. Holland's hair, wink wink. He's one of the boys, okay? The hairdresser issue sits at odds with Holland's campaign promise in 2012, that he'd be a normal head of state, in contrast with his predecessor, Nicolas Sarkozy, who earned the label of the bling-bling president for his Ray-Ban sunglasses and fancy vacations. It also comes at a time when Holland is seeking to push through a bill that would shrink workers' benefits and making firing of somebody even easier. Quote, everyone needs their hair done, no? Stephanie Le Foll, the government spokesman, said after the weekly cabinet meeting at the Elysee Palace. Elysee, I'm not sure, I'm not right, in Paris. I can understand people's questions. I can understand their judgments. He's not just anybody. That's all. No, he's not just anybody. I am the Premier of France. I am the one who declared martial law in advance so that I could keep you guys under martial law. I can stop any elections from taking place. I can do things we normally wouldn't be able to do under martial law, which is why we had this bogus terror attack in France. Again, you can go to YouTube and watch the lady throw a metal smoke bomb shattering the window, and then she goes inside after she throws it through the window. Does that sound like a terror attack to you? I don't think so. But it's enough to scare everybody when they got the mainstream media not showing those videos. We can't show that. Let's just show them our little pieces of clips of things. And then it fits together in this story. You've got 20 puzzle pieces, but the media shows you three, the three most important ones, so that you can start, beginning, middle, end, and we buy it. I saw smoke. I saw people running. I'm good. But someone like me says, no, I'm not good with that. I want to cover everything. Oh, I found out that almost all of the normal security guards did not show up that day. And the band member, the lead singer, said about one of the guys who looked like a creepy security dude, told his manager, I don't like the way that guy is behaving. He looks creepy to me. Get rid of him. Quote, unquote. Get rid of him. To be replied back by his manager, I would, but he's like the only one here of the ones we're normally supposed to have gotten. So he's going to have to stay. Creepy security guards, huh? You mean like subcontractors? Correct. Oh, you mean like the one in Orlando, SG4 or 4GS, whatever that security contractor was that we used. Oh. Again, you can just watch these patterns. You can see these patterns. And when they all check, you treat it as a hoax until proven otherwise, which is why I waited with Dallas, the Dallas shooting, did my due diligence, but very, very quickly I realized to myself, this happened. Whether it was a false flag or not, that doesn't matter. It happened, is what I was pointing out, because there are people calling it a full-blown hoax. Oh, they're throwing firecrackers on the sidewalk. And okay, well, thanks to a subscriber, I just saw bullet holes all up and down the left side of the pillar, the front side of the pillar. Yeah, there's two gray marks. The gray marks, that's not a bullet hole. No, but if the pillar's here, and you're here shooting towards this guy, and it hits the pillar, it's not going to put a hole in it. It's going to bounce off and keep going. You're at an angle. So you're going to have a nice little lead smudge from the bullet. That is absolutely there. So, then people don't like when I'm right about that. Oh, yeah, and then you see these comments. Oh, yeah. Settle down, boys. Settle down. They're not always hoaxes. They're not always false flags. But they sure as hell are a lot. Anyways, I just thought I'd share this with you because we have the same crap here. Remember a while back, remember that story? Nancy Pelosi, let me see if I can find it real quick. Nancy Pelosi flying kids. There we go. 2010. I knew it was on here somewhere. Pelosi Speaker Shuttle, the inside story. I'm going to go with this other one. Pelosi's children and grandchildren used military jets as cross-country shuttle services so they could avoid dealing with the rabble. Judicial Watch provided separate documents from an earlier Freedom of Information Act request which show that most, if not all, of the flights did indeed have the speaker aboard. This is being researched and, until complete, corrections are noted below. So, she was on board most of the time, but maybe not all the time, which gives her whole family, I guess, a green light to get on board as well. But not just taking any flight or like, your own personal aircraft, which you could easily afford. You're a multi-millionaire. We're going to use jets and military aircraft for you. Right. That's just one little thing. How about Obama flying Hillary Clinton to North or South Carolina on her little speech? You gonna take your jet? No, I got Air Force One. That's what we got it. Probably cost us about what? What do you about $5 million from there to here with the entourage and all? Yeah. No biggie. $5 million, Hillary. You make that in a couple speeches. Don't worry. Don't sweat it. Let's go. Taxpayers got you covered on this one. Let's go. Blatant disregard for anything that would even be considered kind of normal as far as spending, budgets, things you should not be doing without having. Well, let me ask my lawyer. I need to talk to my lawyer if that's because I was under the impression that that's okay. Building a $50 million gas station in the Middle East when it should have cost $500,000. You weren't sure about that one? And the billions you guys needed in cash. You needed cash money in Afghanistan and places around there, for some reason, you only requested cash. So we got you $1 billion in cash. And where did this cash, what was it used for again? We're not sure. You can't follow. Once we give it out, we don't know where it goes. But you need it for a specific reason. Yeah, we did. So you don't know if it went to that reason or somewhere. Yeah, I can't say. So just keep in mind, these are two little teeny tiny issues. I could go on for days and days and days about this kind of shit. Misappropriation. ISIS got the weapons. ISIS got the 4x4 Toyotas. ISIS got the... State Department, can you answer it 47 times? No. Nope, can't answer that. Don't want to answer that. The lady's probably ready to retire. She's probably ready to resign because she can't stand it. She's like, do I have to go out there into the press? Guys, you already have the softball press here. You've got the softballs that we only allow in to ask me the questions anyways. And even the BS questions they're asking me are making me look like a freaking idiot. I can't answer anything. They got 47 questions. I can't answer any of them. All right, let me put on my fake smile. Hey, everybody. Go ahead. Question 1. Go ahead. Can't answer that. I don't know. Oh, go ahead. Yes, sir. Don't know. Can't answer that. This is called the best democracy money can buy. This is it. As George Carlin said, folks, that's it. It's not going to get any better. It'll never improve. You don't matter how you vote. This is it. So deal with it. It's as good as it's going to get. George Carlin for president, but he's dead. One of the best comics ever. Not because he was hysterically funny, but because the message he could get out to the masses in a very funny way. Man, that guy was fantastic. Anyways, take care.